Thank you very much for picking up the Moynihan work and carrying it forward as someone I'm sure will be doing after you, long after you, since the progress is basically non-existent. What are our oldest secrets, the oldest secrets the government is currently still holding as top secret that none of us can know?
Well, after the CIA declassified recipes for invisible ink that were over 100 years old, we now think that there are secrets related to signals intelligence, trying to decrypt communications from the 1920s.
1920s. Nicholson Baker's book of a couple of years ago called Baseless, My Search for Secrets in the Ruins of the Freedom of Information Act was an entertaining and dark tale about him trying to obtain what are secrets involving the Korean War. These are 1950s secrets that he was trying to obtain that are still secrets. And there's an energy and a cost to holding on to those secrets.
Oh, yes. The government spends now $18.4 billion a year trying to protect information and keep it from the American public. But that was from 2017. They've actually lost track. They can't even estimate how much money they spend every year on secrecy.
And one of the points Senator Moynihan always made was that there are absolutely necessary secrets that the government must maintain as secrets. He was a member of the Senate Intelligence Committee. He saw real secrets that should be held secret. His point, your point, is we have wildly overdone this, and the system feeds on itself, and the power to create secrets has expanded to now thousands of people who can just create it, decide that's a secret.
And that's one of the reasons it's so dangerous, because we're not protecting secrets that really can kill people. Identities of covert operatives, hacking tools from the NSA and the CIA, tens of millions of personnel records that have been taken from us by the Chinese government. That's why overclassification is such a danger.
And as we go forward, the secrets are going to get bigger. The pile's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And the point that Moynihan and you make is that when the pile is that big, finding what matters in that pile is that much more difficult.
Yeah, I mean, you might think that historians like me, one day there'll be a court of history and we could render judgment based on the full weight of the evidence. But I can tell you the court is closing. If we don't preserve the documents that really matter, then we're just not going to be able to do our jobs. And that's going to make it even harder for citizens to do theirs.
What is the declassification? I don't even want to use the word system now. There isn't a declassification system now. So how do things get declassified when they do?
It's a Rube Goldberg machine. If you looked at a diagram, it would have dozens of boxes and many more arrows. And the fact is, just reviewing records to see which ones might be nuclear secrets is an incredibly involved, complex process. And it just doesn't work.